Welcome back. We are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day and taking time to remember and reflect and honor the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
As a leader of the civil rights movement, Dr. King fought against racism and discrimination, of course, the majority of his life. His work had an impact nationwide, but also right here in Chicago. And joining us now to share some of that history is Sherman Dilla Thomas, known as Chicago's urban historian. We're so glad to have you today.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. You know, Dr. King's influence was, you know, as we mentioned, nationwide. I mean, you can't even, it's like an understatement to say that, but he, you know, had so much influence right here, especially in Chicago, when it came to fighting against housing discrimination.
Yeah, absolutely. In the winter of 1965, a West Side teacher by the name of Al Raby, he invited Dr. King here to fight against housing discrimination, or what they then called the slums, right? Restricted racial covenants had ended in this country in 1949, but despite that, there was still a lot of segregation as it related to where African Americans could live, who would rent to them. And housing is a very important issue, right? Where you stay and where you live, if it's not safe, if it's not up to par, up to standards, then that can affect the rest of your life. So he spent a lot of time here in Chicago fighting that issue.
What's interesting, it's one of the things, even as a shorty, as we said back in the day, being told that Dr. King, coming from the South, from Alabama, said Chicago was the most racist, segregated place he'd ever been to, and that really stung. It stings still today, doesn't it?
Very much so. I can't help but think about that anytime I ride by Marquette Park, right? It was after a march through Marquette Park in the Chicago lawn area where he got hit in the head with that rock that he made that statement. But he also said if I could get it to work in Chicago, meaning if I could break housing discrimination in Chicago, then I can break housing discrimination everywhere, which shows the point that if you can get it to work in Chicago, you can get it to work everywhere, right? And that was one of the reasons why he selected Chicago. And out of it, a lot of amazing things happened. Chicago could be considered maybe King's first loss, because when he left, not a lot changed, but that taught him to not leave without the paperwork. So he went back to D.C. and he stayed until he got the Fair Housing Act.
We got the political side of it. And Samuel Black, we lost him a couple years ago at 102 years old, just a true Chicago treasure, but he had a close connection with Dr. King. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, very much so. Samuel Black was the first person ever to bring Dr. King to Chicago. I believe it was about 1956. He brought him to speak at Rockefeller Chapel at the University of Chicago. And then they maintained an amazing friendship. Samuel Black was a World War II veteran, and so he had connections to some of the folks on King's team. He also was the Chicago liaison for the March on Washington. So when it was time to rent the buses and get Chicagoans to D.C. in 1963, Tim Black was in charge of that as well. Tim Black helped get Harold Washington elected, and Tim Black was one of the people who advocated. Chicago became the first major city to change the name of a thoroughfare to King Drive. It was had a lot to do with the work of Tim Black.
Which brings me to my next question, and that is about King Drive. There's a whole rich history to that stretch of road in Chicago. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That stretch of road, as you say, has changed America. On that road, you can find the house of Robert Abbott, who's a gentleman who created the Chicago Defender. That was the definitive newspaper, which really started the Great Migration. You also have the Chicago Defender headquarters that was on King Drive for a little while. Ebony and Jet had a headquarters over there. A lot of different blues clubs, Regal Theater, which helped found and establish the Jackson 5, the Savoy Theater, which helped establish the Harlem Globetrotters. And so from 22nd Street to 55th Street, King Drive has made some history.
Yeah,
today, January 15th, sorry, Dana, would have been Martin Luther King's 95th birthday. His life cut short at the age of 39. Dilla, from where you sit and stand today, where's Dr. King's dream? And how can it be furthered along in this really polarized point of our society right now?
You know, that's a very good question. I think about that very often, because the memory of Dr. King is heralded and cherished, and corporations across the city and across the world are having programs and giving folks days off. But to really be living his dream, what does your hiring role look like? What does the employment stats and employee stats, does it look like the city? Is it 1/3 Latino? Is it 1/3 Black in your offices and in the C-suite athletes. So I think we still got a little bit more work to go. Also, he was a person who cared about all humans, and we can see that we're sort of missing the mark a little bit as a society here based off of how we're treating the migrants, right? If Dr. King was alive, there's no way he would want us to put him back on a bus and send him back and let him sleep in the cold, right? We as a city have a right to advocate for Chicago, to help Chicago wins. But we also, as humans, should want to help everybody. And that's really living Dr. King's dream.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
And disrespect amongst our fellow human beings would go a long way, right?
For each other, exactly.
Dilla Thomas, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your insight. We could talk to him all day, couldn't we?
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. And as you mentioned, you give tours and, and a lot of educational seminars. So,
today, if you got time, you can go to DuSable Museum's website. We're going to be retracing the steps of Dr. King. We're going to do a North Lawndale neighborhood tour this afternoon.
All right.
Dilla Thomas, thank you. Stay warm out there.